I have some announcements to make concerning British American Insurance Company. You may recall at the press conference, the press briefing on Friday, at the end of the meeting, which I chaired here in St. Vincent, the joint meeting between the OECS and the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. And you know that responsibility for the joint task force was given to me in January of this year to address the fallout consequential upon the economic tsunami in the developed world. And specifically, in relation to British American, I had said that I'm seeking to have the central bank pay from the fiscal tranche 2, the second fiscal tranche, which is the money belonging to the contributors in the members and participants of the currency union, that is to say, the countries in the Eastern Caribbean, the 6 independent countries in the OECS, plus, of course, Montserrat and Anguilla. The BVI is outside of the currency union, even though the BVI is part of the OECS, because the BVI uses the US dollar as their currency. Now, I have received the support from all the members of the Monetary Council, and I'd spoken to the governor at that meeting, and there was an agreement, and I followed through on that, and a letter went off today, consequent upon a teleconference yesterday between prime ministers and ministers of finance and other officials in the Eastern Caribbean. And I've sent off today the letter for the central bank to pay on behalf of British American Insurance Company to the reinsurers in respect of the properties in the countries of the currency union, the sum of $2.022 million US dollars as the premium payments. The hurricane season has started. The reinsurance has to be done by the 30th of June, I've been advised. Our insurance regulator, Ms. Rose, well, under the authority of the Director General of Finance and Planning, on my instructions, had obtained all the information from British American as to the companies to be paid and where the money is to be paid. And my letter has gone off to the central bank, and the payment would be effected. This is of great importance because persons who have loans with banks, mortgages, and where they're insured with British American, the banks would also have that comfort to know that the policies are reinsured elsewhere. So I think this is of great importance for the policyholders and also of great importance to the banks. Additionally, we are very close to identifying consultants to address all the practical issues relating to the formation of a successor company to British American, essentially to keep British American going as an ongoing enterprise. And then the various insurance regulators are in touch in all the countries with the chambers of the Attorney General to discuss the matter of the making application for judicial management of British American. We're hoping that that can be done sooner rather than later, at a specific date in the not too distant future. All the technical people are working out all these matters. I want to point out that such a judicial management arrangement is not, emphasize not, an issue involving liquidation. It is a matter to have an overall management of the enterprise so that we can keep the enterprise going as a going concern in this transitional period before we have a new company which is a successor to British American. That is the strategic view. Now, you may recall that I had written some time ago to the Prime Minister of the Bahamas and spoken to him, and I'd spoken to the Attorney General in the Bahamas, not to put British American into liquidation in the Bahamas, but to go the route of a judicial management to provide us with the time and the opportunity to be able to carry out our strategic objective grounded on the following four principles, which I've repeated time and time again. A, that British American be kept as a going concern, either in its own name or as a successor company. B, that British American policyholders and investors be protected. Thirdly, that British American does not constitute in any way at all a systemic risk to the financial system in the Eastern Caribbean currency union. And finally, that whatever solution is arrived at regionally. And that is why, following the mandate of last week's meeting, of the meeting 2 weeks ago here of the technical persons, the committee which I chair, which the government of Trinidad and Tobago insisted that you're staying aboard if I were to chair that technical meeting to drive the process. That we who had the responsibility to draft a memorandum of understanding, we have done so. And the memorandum of understanding has been circulated to the OECS governments, the government of Trinidad and Tobago, the government of the Bahamas, and the government of Barbados.